Okay, it's officially July 2nd. We've made it well over 24 hours, almost a day and a half, because we started the night before, about 8 o'clock. Basically giving up dairy. We did the 1 year, no meats. And, what do you do at that point? For different reasons, for different things, to try and limit our food choices, to make better healthy choices in our food choices, we decided to give it a go. We say, to make it sound a little better in our minds, because it's rough to do if you've never been there. We've only been doing this for a year. It took me a couple years to prep myself that I was going to give up meats and then I was going to still eat chicken and fish, and I didn't. I gave it all up a year ago, July 1st, 2019. So coming up to it, you can't really have a celebration meal of a meat product, and obviously, so what we've been eating the Beyond stuff. Of course, Hardee's has some of the best Beyond stuff. Dunkin's is pretty good. Their sausage. I love Denny's burger. Hardee's seems to be really good too. So that was our celebratory meal, plant-based sandwich. Long story short, so we were vegan for 24 hours. We say that, but I don't know if I'm totally giving up honey yet. I mean, it's a day, day and a half, whatever it's been. So I'm trying to decide, but I'm definitely plant-based, more raw food. My ultimate goal a year ago, started from a couple years before that, was to get to 51% to 80% raw food, raw and uncooked food. The video I saw said that you can detox your body, become healthier, lose weight. And across the board, since I've been doing this, I feel great. Am I still a big guy? Yes. Do I eat before sleep? I work off shifts? Yes. I haven't really lost weight. I did it first, but then I put it back on. But across the board, there's people actually believe that I'm losing weight, even though I'm still the same. But structurally, like, I feel better. Like, even just doing the Beyond Burger and stuff, within an hour or two, I felt great. Usually, if you eat a big burger and all that stuff, you're tired for hours and got to take a nap. I didn't have to do that. I went through, and my goodness, people don't realize, like, even just going to vegetables, like, you get recovery time. You don't sit down and fall asleep. Maybe if you eat a bunch of sugars or fruits and stuff like that. So keep those light. For me. For you, you do what you got to do for you. But it's just amazing how before I was always tired all the time, and I didn't know. Years ago I smoked, so I gave that up, and I thought that was that, and I felt a lot better. But I didn't realize how much the food affects you within 5 to 20 minutes of eating. It's fully absorbed in your body, and you're fully feeling the effects of it. And sometimes you're tired. At least I have been for hours and hours. And then the more stuff that I eat compounds on it. So just eating the Beyond Double and fries, the proteins in it and stuff like that, I mean, I really didn't feel bad from eating it, and I felt great in a short time. Where usually, if you eat a big greasy burger or two of them, and for hours and hours, sometimes, unless you're athletic, maybe, but and I felt amazed. I'm like, wow, I feel great. Not even an hour or so after eating, I'm like, I still got energy. I'm not tired. I don't feel like napping. So, I mean, I got to keep doing this. That's what kept me going. I gave this a try a year ago. I did the 30 days, and I'm like, I made it past a week to 30 days, and somehow I made it 6 months. Boom, a year has gone past. I don't even believe it. It's after July 1st. And so I decided to give up the dairy, me and my girlfriend. And so far we've made it a day plus. So that's given up, her favorite sour cream. I like chip dip sometimes, but I can get the tomato sauce chip dips. So across the board, Dairy Queen has a vegan dilly bar now that we've seen. We haven't tried it yet. There's many alternatives in the grocery store if you look in the vegan section or Beyond Meat sections, or different names that they have. If you're going plant-based sections, besides regular just vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm not, I don't know, across the board, it's what's working for me. I'm not condoning the practice or not practice of processed Beyond foods, but gosh darn, for me they taste really good. Sometimes the flavor's a little different, but it's no different than if you go to somebody else's house and they make this different or that different, and it doesn't matter if it's a meat product or not meat product. If you're eating that stuff. So for us, our dietary issues, or personal choice that we have made, we say vegan for 24 hours because vegan is a whole different ball of wax. The more videos I watch about that, I can see why people are saying more plant-based and raw food, because to the extent of we can't eat to the extent of like the true vegans are doing, and people in the movement and stuff like that. I get that and I respect that, and it's way beyond what we're doing. So I'm trying to get a name. I'm trying to get away from a little from saying vegan because that's what we've been saying, vegan 24 hours, and we're gonna try it for a year. But we're basically gonna be like I don't know, like if you're still eating honey, you can't really be vegan. So I don't know. I haven't eaten honey yet, so I don't know. Not in the last day. But we did give up the eggs, the cheese, the dairy, all that related stuff, which you hadn't done before. And at first I didn't eat a lot of eggs, and then I was, and I didn't. And cheese pizza's the worst, as far as when I say that, that was our worst, besides me and manufactured potato salad and cheese pizza, because I gave up the other pizza. So I was doing vegetable pizza or cheese pizza or combination. So I'm just trying to limit my choices, and I'm gonna see how I do. I made it one day. My stomach feels different. It almost, in a way, feels hollow, but it also feels like it's not missing anything bad. It's not missing the milk chocolate so far. It's not missing, But the year of no meats has prepared me for this moment. And we didn't really decide this till a couple weeks ago. And we're like, huh, what do we do for our 1 year anniversary? Let's give up dairy. So there we go. And we're just gonna see how it goes. I'm just updating the videos for my own personal use, and if it helps anybody, that is awesome. I know everybody has a varied opinion on it, and until you're walking in our shoes, tell me what you would eat if you went 1 year with no meat. Tell me what you ate all year. Let me tell you, and I don't mean just chips and pop, because I've ate a lot of broccoli slaw and coleslaw, and it might not be the best thing in the world sometimes, but it is good. Now it's gonna be a little rougher because I got to get the a Beyond Mayo, and they have plant-based veganese and stuff like that you can get. And there's a variety of stuff out there now. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to cope well. I agree, and I'm reading the labels more. I'm making sure there's not milk whey and all that other derivatives in there. If there's any secret code for it, I don't know it. I don't know the scientific codes for it. So if it doesn't say milk, then I know if it says milk, I'm not getting it. If it says eggs, I'm not getting it. I know that, and then I'm going to spend more time reading labels. But that's the last time I'm not eating junk food, getting fat. I'm hoping to maintain a weight. And they always said getting in shape is really what you eat and the quantities you put in your mouth. And I've believed that for a long time, but I've never got to that point to have the willpower to get there. All right, so maybe I'm still a big guy and maybe I've put on a few pounds, but I put on a lot of healthy weight. So now if I had more gym time and more ambition and, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm a normal working guy living a normal working life, trying to make my diet around the rest of the world. And thank gosh that almost all the fast food places now have some kind of plant-based food or beyond food. Sometimes it's vegetarian, sometimes it's plant-based or vegan, and you really got to watch your labels and see what the wording is. Sometimes they'll start cooking it in a mixed grill area. So, it depends on how hardcore you are in there, they had not heard when I said we said no mayo, no cheese. Well, they didn't catch that. So, boom, we literally had no meats. We gave that up. We can't eat these sandwiches. We feel bad. We don't want to waste them, but maybe if they would I don't know, but the point was they missed it. You're supposed to be making sandwiches the way you order them, and they missed it, and it was a mistake, whatever. So it happened. So they did give us new sandwiches because it was their mistake. We didn't order them wrong. Now, if we'd ordered them wrong, maybe we would have ate the cost and took it and explained to them, we need new sandwiches. We're going to take these. We'll feed them to the dogs or whatever. But anyways, so yes, the dogs have not gone vegan, but they're just eating regular dog food. So we have got them on a lot of the grain free, and sometimes we mix the other food and stuff like that in there, and that's a whole different ball of wax. But we still give them little quantities of table food and other stuff, so they seem to like it. And heck, I don't know, just making this stuff as I go, as it's coming to my mind. I'm not making it up, but I mean it's the process of my thoughts. And we've been up weird alternating schedules lately. I know a lot of kids have, and other people have that, especially off shifts. Your world is never the same as people that are on day shift by far or any means. And I know there's a lot of people on days that have tough schedules, depending if they work at 7, 8, or 9, or whatever time they work, and their sleep schedules are erratic too. But it's always a little weirder when you're on seconds or thirds and people are giving you a hard time about making appointments, which used to happen more in the past. They want you to come in at some weird time, and it's like, no, I want an appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning. not 6 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock at night, you know. Sometimes that's my sleep time, you know. They act like you're a lazy bum. It's like, no, I got a job, I got a life. I'm either working at the time or catching a nap to work at that time, or vice versa. Or some people bounce between all the shifts, so that's even worse on you. And it just depends on the day of the job that you're doing and everything. So across the board, you want to feel better. And I never thought I'd say this. I definitely wouldn't have said it 30 years ago or 35 years ago or 40 years ago or 50 years ago. The point is like from the videos I've saw from Netflix and the other ones and the searches and the YouTubes, by far since 2011, the research that I've done, a lot of heart attacks and stroke can be prevented from these guys who can't make the claims like doctors do and scientists and all that stuff, and it can't be backed up always by medical science. But I feel great across the board, and I'm not doing this for medical reasons. I've ate bad for a lot of time, so maybe I'm helping reverse some stuff. But my goal was just because I've gotten big again from off shifts and sleeping before eating, and probably not as much exercise as I should, but I do get exercise at work. And we might not be industrial athletes classified, but my job is pretty busy. So I'm not just sitting at a desk or anything like that. I'm on my feet all day. We ride equipment around, and I mean, over half my day is walking or on my feet all day. And then I know there's people that do more than that. I'm not comparing myself to you or people that are true industrial athletes, as they call them. But I'm definitely in the industrial athlete category. Maybe it's a subcategory of he's walking his butt here and there. So, long story short, I am getting some exercise, but I'm not going to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe I should, and maybe I will, and we're going to work on that. That's a whole different story. But just across the board, just from switching my diet to no meats across the board, now that I'm giving up the junk foods, because I can tell sometimes when I eat sugars and certain stuff like that, it tightens my leg muscles up. And I've always noticed that. There's certain chocolates that give me headaches. And I'm like, why? I don't know what's in it. You know, you're not supposed to give chocolate to your dogs. Maybe you got a condition like I'm a dog or something, where I shouldn't have certain chocolates because it affects my head. Certain chocolates just have given me headaches. I don't know if it's the sugars or the chocolate, something in there. So we're getting away from the milk chocolates. We're getting away from the dairy, anything to spin off that knowingly lists the ingredients that might have that product in there. And we're doing it for more like health reasons. For my girlfriend's situation is totally different than mine. She's been told that she should watch her diet by doctors from the Cleveland Clinic, and this is factual. And she's been doing the best she can. She barely had beef and pork for 2 years, so she's actually way ahead of me. And I barely ate it them 2 years too. But now we can officially say we barely had beef and pork in 2018. We had no meats in 2019 going into this, and now we're shooting for no dairy. We originally said 24 hours, but then we're like, we're going to do it for 24 hours to 3 days to a week to a month to 6 months to a year if we can do it, and hopefully a lifetime. And just by us, hopefully will inspire you. By us, hopefully eating healthier, hopefully maybe detoxing our own bodies naturally over time, not doing like a detox tea or nothing, just like your whole body can shift itself. Now, it helps to have a balanced nutritional diet, which we have never been big on that. So we're hoping to get more stable, organized portion control. Eating 5 or 6 totally small meals a day can be healthier than eating 3 big meals. And, you know, there's times that I'll just eat a spoon of food here and there. For a while there, I did that for a couple years. Believe me, it's doable for snacks and stuff like that. So whole meals is a different story. But even then, using the smaller plates across the board, we try and use the small to medium plates across the board. And then the smaller bowls are half a bowl. And there's times we've gone out of control. But now, since we're doing this, maybe we can get more into control, because a lot of times when you eat the vegetables, especially the raw food, and some people, I seen a video where the lady said temperatures under 100, 110 can still be considered raw food, where you're getting it to cook, soften up a little, and it's not the high temperatures, so it's not taking too much of the nutrition, and it's actually could be activating the food to make it taste a little better, and maybe activate some of the nutrition. I had heard that about garlic, so I don't know if that's factual, but I mean that's the plant-based rule from one lady I heard said if about under 100 degrees for a certain amount of time. And I'm not against that. Steaming food, light food. I'm just trying for me to get to 51%, maybe to 80% to see if this stuff works. Because if it works at 51% through a year to 5 years to 10 years, it would definitely work going up to 80% raw food based on the rules. And I don't know all the rules about it. I'm still watching videos and finding stuff just as I can. You know, it's hard in a town where most people eat bad. There's a few people out there, but I don't know them. You'd be surprised how many people do this, this, and this, and then they do this, this, and this. So, I mean, a lot of people say don't use microwaves, but I know people are trying to eat healthy using microwaves every day. And we haven't given the microwave up, but we don't use it all the time. But then again, we don't use the oven. We probably use the microwave more than the oven, so it's kind of hard to say. We do a lot of stovetops too to heat stuff, which they say is better. And I personally, when I was a kid, I liked cooking over an open wood fire personally more than a grill. So I wish I had like an indoor grill where I could grill some vegetables and stuff like that. And we have an air fryer now, so we're doing that. Air frying is nice. Let me tell you, when the Clive doctor says stay away from fried foods on top of avoid cheese, for her. And some of the lean meats might be better than cheese, but it depends on your restrictions. But across the board, if you have certain conditions, you should avoid all meats and dairy according to some of the doctors. And you got to pick your choice for you, how bad your condition is. How bad do you want to live if you got a condition that's bad, to see if you got to go on vegetables for 3 months or a month to 6 months to a year to 5 years to 10 years to see if your condition improves. Is it worth it? It's expensive to some people, but it's way cheaper than most medicines. So you got to weigh the conditions. And, I'm no health expert by any means. And it's not about that. This is about me and my journey, making my way. And if you made it in this video, I hope you support me 1,000%. Thank you for a like, a share, a subscribe. Thank you for your time, your patience. Thank you for your veganism. Thank you for your plant-basedism, your raw foodism, your vegetarianism. To all the meat eaters out there, hey, who's out to you too? I mean, you got your own way to go, believe me. I mean, I've only been doing this stuff for a year, so I understand it. But after the way I feel so great compared to what I did. I don't see the need to go back. And don't harp on me and be negative about it. It's like when I quit smoking, only the smokers harped on me and got on me, not the doctors, not the other people. And even then, it was only a few. Some of them are busting my chops, and it's funny. Some of the guys that busted my chops about that have given up smoking. Other ones have tried 5 or 10 times. A couple of them have finally gave it up again for the fifth or 10th time, and so that just goes to show you, when I stopped in '02, I was setting a trend that other people had set. And I'm not saying those guys will ever go plant-based or raw food, but most of those guys eat salads. So to sit there and say you're not eating salads with your meals when they say you should eat a balanced diet of fruits, meats, and all that stuff and dairy, and then you find out, for me, you don't have to have the meats and the dairy, and it's actually been making me tired for years, and I wish I would have known that. So, do I expect those guys to switch over? No, but someday they might have to. Someday they might choose to. I mean, they stopped smoking, so hey, everybody's prayers are answered. So, I'm just saying, it's funny how, you got a trend going, and they didn't plan on stopping smoking when I did, but they sure busted my chops about it. And, now the only thing I can hope for is, someday they're walking in my shoes. I hope someday that maybe they can go plant-based, or maybe they'll eat 80% salads and cut their meats down. Like when you go to a lot of the Chinese restaurants, did you ever see, like, you get the fried rice and stuff like that? Small quantities of meats in with your food, and I'm not against that. It's just not my way anymore. Did I love it then? Yes. I mean, I loved various foods for years. Has it been rough at first? Yes. It's easier now after a year, but a lot of foods are addictive on your mind. And let me tell you, there's things that you look at and see, and you're like, if I had mentally prepared myself and if I had never quit smoking, I don't know. I mean, it's at a different level of willpower. I mean, it's harder than quitting smoking sometimes. It took me longer. I mean, it took me 10 years to quit smoking, but I tried. And then the affirmations helped, but I haven't found a good affirmation for not eating, because the addiction for food, I think, is way stronger than smoking as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. And so I beat that, and I'm knocking some of that down. I did give up years ago, about 12, 13 years ago, closer to 13 years ago. I did give up 80% sugars for about 2 years plus. And then I totally gave up ice cream for over 6 months. And I give up 80% of the extra sugars. You can't pull them out of foods, but I was not eating much junk food at all. Long story short, it's brought me here to this point, and that's why I'm making this crazy video. I'm living this crazy life. I feel so great now. I mean, it's some days I'm between being older and this and that, and the kid waking you up at weird times, and this and that, and life. I'm not sleeping as much sometimes, but I'm still getting, I shoot for my 5 to 7 hours of sleep a day minimum. Some people say 8 hours. I think it depends on the person. I know guys that live on 3 or 4 hours sleep, which I'm not saying that's right by any means. But if I get 5 hours, the next day I'm probably getting 7, 8 hours. If I get 6 hours, I can go weeks at a time on 6 hours if I could get a solid six. But a lot of times I'll get split sleep. So I'm getting 3 and 3, 4 and 3. Sometimes I'm getting 2 and 3, two here, five there, 3 and 3, all the combinations possible. But I'm sleeping healthier, I believe, across the board, if I can even say that. And ever since I've gave up a lot of junk food from years ago and the smoking, I do sleep a little lighter. I still can sleep heavy, but I sleep well and well rested. But across the board, I used to sleep through 110 and 200 decibel trucker alarms, the screaming timers. I used to sleep through them. I think my one ear is affected from, listen, I had to put tape over them years ago because they're so loud, but they're not, without the tape, they're too loud. With the tape, they're still really loud. So if you don't have a screaming mean timer and you need one, stop at most truck stops. They're $30 now. So, but I could ramble on for days once I get going, and it's summertime. We're going to try swimming this year a little bit. That'll be the exercise. And, who knows? Maybe someday we'll get a bigger pool if we can, or go from there. So, wish us luck. We wish you luck on all the best and everything good in life. May it come to you with bright happiness. And no matter what your thoughts, beliefs are, that you will attain wonderful good things no matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter where you are, and that we will always find attainment of better, higher places within ourselves, so we may help the world, the universe, and all around us, wherever we are, whether it's this little wonderful town of Ohio in the Northeast, or wherever you are in the world, or the country, or the universe. Well, we wish you luck. Thanks for a share, subscribe, a thumbs up, a little bit of praise, a little bit of glory, and back at you. Be well, my friends.